Good morning from the Protos newsroom. The date today is Tuesday, the 8th of December, and you're listening to the Protos Daily. These are the main headlines this morning. MicroStrategy wants to borrow cash to buy more Bitcoin. Facebook's crypto project faces another branding snag, and ransomware hackers demand $33 million from Foxconn. At the present time, Bitcoin is trading at $18,820 after dropping by 1.8% for the past 24 hours. Nasdaq-listed data software firm MicroStrategy is again looking to buy massive amounts of Bitcoin. But rather than continue to spend its own cash, MicroStrategy is instead now looking to borrow money from investors to fund its next big buy. Indeed, MicroStrategy is reportedly looking to raise $400 million by selling convertible bonds, and promises all proceeds would be invested in Bitcoin, quote, pending the identification of working capital needs. MicroStrategy has recently spent more than $500 million on Bitcoin, attracting the company and its founder Michael Saylor a degree of notoriety in the scene in the past few months. In that time, Bitcoin has rallied by 80%, while MicroStrategy's stock price has nearly tripled. UK fintech startup Diem has voiced concern that the Libra Foundation's rebrand could lead to widespread confusion. The Libra Foundation, which was created to support Facebook's own cryptocurrency, changed its name on the 1st of December and is now known as the Diem Association. But Diem, the startup, says it got to the name first when it was founded in late September this year. Diem says Libra's change jeopardizes its ability to protect the brand it created and ultimately the interests of the shareholders. Gary Cupey, founder and CEO of Diem, says we're in the process of considering our legal options, but we find it surprising, given previous alleged trademark infringements and lawsuits surrounding this project, that the foundation seemingly made the same mistake again. Referencing a 2019 trademark infringement lawsuit filed against Facebook over its swirly tilde logo for its then-named Libra token. Wall Street investors ploughed nearly $500 million into cryptocurrency funds and products in the past week, bringing the total institutional assets under management to an all-time peak of $15 billion. Last week's inflows were the second highest in history, just $30 million behind the record set 3 weeks ago. These figures are according to new data from digital asset manager CoinShares, which highlighted Grayscale's $336 million move that brought its total portfolio to over $12 billion, making it the world's biggest institutional crypto fund. In particular, Bitcoin investment products attracted $335 million last week, taking the total amount of money spent for the year to almost $4 billion. Ethereum, the second largest digital currency, saw much less than 1/3 of that volume, but it has been increasing of late. Drawing insights from the data, CoinShares investment strategist James Butterfill said, based on our clients' conversations over the course of 2020, we have seen a decisive shift from inquiries of a speculative nature to those that begin with comments such as, Bitcoin is here to stay, please help us understand it. He added, given the levels of interest, this suggests we are only on the cusp of institutional adoption rather than it cooling down. The world's largest electronics manufacturer, Foxconn, has suffered a cyber attack which resulted in stolen information and encrypted machines held for a Bitcoin ransom. The ransomware attack happened during Thanksgiving weekend and targeted a facility just outside Ciudad Juarez, Mexico, which is responsible for the assembly and shipping of electronics to all parts of North and South America. Foxconn builds parts for major players including Apple, Google, Hewlett-Packard, and Dell. In a note left on Foxconn servers, the hackers are asking for around $34.5 million worth of Bitcoin, or they'll release the data to the public in batches. Furthermore, hackers also say they've obtained 100 gigabytes of encrypted files and up to 30 terabytes of backups. They also say they've encrypted around 1,200 Foxconn servers. This F-Society type of attack shows that hackers are still intent on exploiting the world's largest companies. Last year, the FBI advised ransomware victims away from giving in to their attackers' demands after a US city paid $45,000 to recover their systems, but analysts say the average cost to hack companies is more likely around $1 million. At this stage, it's unclear if Foxconn will pay up, but we'll be sure to keep you posted once we know more. A Paris court sentenced Russian computer expert Alexander Venik to 5 years in prison over his role in laundering cryptocurrency for ransomware hackers. The case focused on Venik's role in the infamous crypto exchange BTC, which had served as a popular method of exchanging cryptocurrency for fiat as far back as 2011, right up until US authorities seized the domain in 2017. Venik was arrested that year while on holiday in Greece and later extradited to France at the request of the US feds. Unlike most exchanges today that offer fiat services, BTC didn't collect user identity information, which lawyers say facilitated money laundering and other dodgy dealings. Researchers estimated some 95% of all ransomware payments were washed via the exchange. Prosecutors in the US suspect that some 300,000 Bitcoin stolen from Mt. Gox in 2014, worth more than $5.7 billion in today's prices, may have been laundered there too. A report published by the BBC last year suggested Russian spy agencies and hacking crews also regularly used the platform. Most notably, cyber espionage group Fancy Bear, which the US reckons used Bitcoin to fund the hacking of the DNC in 2016. In the end, just one of the 14 charges against Venik stuck, and he'll have the 3 years he has spent in custody so far deducted from the time he has to spend in prison. The court also slapped Venik with a €100,000 fine. Still, it remains unclear what will happen to Venik after he's served his time, as he's currently wanted in the US and Russia on different sets of charges. But there's talks that Russian authorities may look to bring Venik back to home soil to prevent him from ending up in the hands of US authorities. Thank you for listening. To stay up to date with the latest from the world of crypto, make sure you subscribe to the Protos Daily on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all of the major podcast providers.